You've probably noticed it yourself. You open the freezer, grab a pizza you used to love, or pick up a chocolate bar you haven't had in years, and something feels off. It tastes fine, but not the same. Something is missing, though you can't quite put your finger on it. Most people assume it's just nostalgia or that their tastes have changed, but the truth is, the food itself has changed. Across the UK, over the past 10 to 20 years, almost every product you buy has been subtly altered. Not dramatically, not enough to make it inedible, but enough that repeated exposure reshapes your perception. Small changes in ingredients, slight tweaks in recipes, even minor adjustments in production methods have added up. Individually, these differences might seem trivial, but collectively, they alter how food tastes, feels, and satisfies. One major factor is cost. Supermarkets and food brands are constantly under pressure to keep prices low. If one brand raises its prices, another will undercut it. To stay competitive, companies cut corners subtly. Cheaper ingredients replace high-quality ones. Fillers are added, sauces get thicker but less flavorful. Meat content drops slightly. Nothing extreme, nothing that would trigger complaints, but enough to shift the taste profile over time. And the packaging, branding, and product names stay exactly the same, so you expect the same experience. But the experience itself has quietly changed. Over the years, this creates what you might call a slow drift in taste. Your favorite foods no longer match the memory you have of them. It's not instant, it's gradual. And it's designed that way, because products that are just good enough sell reliably, even if they're not memorable. Another key reason is regulatory and health-driven changes. Over the past decade, the UK has pushed for reduced sugar, salt, and fat in processed foods. While this seems positive, these three components are also the foundation of flavor and satisfaction. To compensate, manufacturers often use artificial sweeteners, stabilizers, and flavor enhancers. The food still tastes like something, but it doesn't taste the same. Sweetness might be sharper, sauces less rich, textures slightly softer. On a subconscious level, you notice it. You feel less satisfied, even if you don't consciously know why. Production methods have also evolved. Mass production prioritizes speed, shelf life, and consistency over complexity and depth of flavor. Take bread. Traditional loaves ferment slowly, developing natural taste and texture. Modern supermarket bread is sped up to meet demand, producing softer, uniform slices with less character. The same principle applies to ready meals, sauces, and frozen products. Meals are pre-cooked, cooled, reheated, and stabilized, ensuring predictable behavior but stripping away the small variations that make food feel real. These small variations, which were once the hallmark of quality, have been replaced by standardization. Predictable, efficient, but less satisfying. Another subtle shift comes from the way our brains adjust. Eating slightly lower quality food repeatedly changes your baseline. What used to taste average now tastes normal. What used to taste exceptional now feels rich or unusually flavorful. The combination of cost-cutting, recipe adjustments, and production methods doesn't just change the food, it shifts your perception over time. By the time you realize it, the products around you all feel somewhat similar, and it's easy to assume your tastes have simply changed. But that isn't the full story. Companies know this, and in many cases, the goal is to create consistency and repeatability, not to impress. Food is engineered to be acceptable enough that you keep buying it, to be convenient enough to fit into routine, and to be familiar enough that you feel comfortable reaching for it again and again. Finally, there's the psychological effect of expectations. When packaging, marketing, and branding promise the same experience you remember, your brain anticipates a taste that no longer exists. The disconnect between expectation and reality is why you feel food has changed. You can't always identify it consciously, but your mind notices the subtle differences in flavor, texture, and satisfaction. This is why something as simple as a chocolate bar or a ready meal can feel off, even though it's technically fine. And it's why nostalgia makes familiar foods seem better than what's on the shelf today. The combination of ingredient swaps, regulatory adjustments, production shortcuts, and shifting perception creates a perfect storm that subtly transforms the taste of everyday food, leaving people with the feeling that UK food doesn't taste like it used to. Another layer to this story is how modern marketing and presentation affect perception. Products are designed to look more appealing than they taste. Bright packaging, glossy photos, and clever claims give the impression of quality and flavor, even when the product inside has been simplified or standardized. Your brain is tricked into expecting more, so when the reality doesn't match the promise, the food feels disappointing, even if technically nothing is wrong with it. This is why you might feel like your favorite products used to taste better. Your memory combines flavor and expectation, and today's presentation tricks create a gap between what you expect and what you actually experience. Portion sizes and shrinkflation also play a role. Many products today are slightly smaller than they used to be, or contain less of the premium ingredients you remember. The cost of maintaining taste while keeping prices competitive leads to small reductions that add up. For example, a frozen meal might have less meat or a lighter sauce than 10 years ago, and while it may still satisfy in a basic sense, it doesn't hit the same notes that made it memorable. Over time, these subtle changes make food feel less real or satisfying, contributing to the overall impression that UK food has lost its character. Seasonal and sourcing changes also affect taste. Ingredients sourced from different regions, grown with different methods, or processed differently all subtly alter the final product. Even small variations in cheese, meat, or vegetables can change how a dish tastes. Consumers rarely notice these differences consciously, but your taste buds do. Over years of cumulative changes, familiar foods begin to feel unfamiliar, and what once felt like home suddenly feels just generic. Then there's the shift in consumer habits. Fast-paced lifestyles and convenience-focused shopping mean people often rely on pre-packaged meals and snacks rather than cooking from scratch. This drives demand for products that are easy to produce, long-lasting, and transportable, reinforcing the focus on consistency over flavor. It's a cycle. The more people buy standardized products, the more companies optimize for efficiency, which further reduces the sensory richness of food. So what does this mean for you as a consumer? Awareness is the first step. Understanding that small changes over time have a big impact on taste allows you to make more informed choices. Seeking out products with fewer artificial additives, checking ingredient lists, trying alternatives from smaller brands, or even cooking from scratch can help restore some of the richness and satisfaction that mass-produced food has gradually lost. The point isn't to claim all modern food is bad. There are still many excellent products, but to realize that the same product today is often not the same product your memories remember. Ultimately, when people say that UK food doesn't taste like it used to, they're not just being nostalgic. They're observing the effects of years of subtle, cumulative changes designed for efficiency, cost-saving, and consistency rather than sensory delight. Recognizing this gives perspective and allows you to make choices that prioritize taste, enjoyment, and quality over convenience alone. Next time you pick up a familiar product, take a moment to notice the flavor, texture, and satisfaction. Compare it to what you remember. You might realize that your memory wasn't exaggerating. Food really has changed. And once you're aware of these shifts, you'll start seeing patterns everywhere in the supermarket aisles, from ready meals to snacks to beverages. It's a small but significant reminder that paying attention, questioning the familiar, and exploring alternatives can help you reclaim some of the enjoyment that modern food has quietly taken away. If this made you think about your own experiences with food, leave a comment about what products feel different to you now. And if you want more insights and breakdowns like this, subscribe for future videos. There's a lot happening behind everyday food that most people never realize, and knowing it might just change how you eat, shop, and